One of the most wretched haunted house stories is from the year 1912. And what makes the story so wretched is that the story is true. On June 10th, 1912, Josiah and Sarah Moore were stabbed to death inside of their home in Villisca, Iowa. It was just like any night, and both Sarah and Josiah were in the house with their 4 children and 2 friends who were spending the night. Unfortunately, they were all killed. To this day, the crime remains a mystery. Nobody really knows who killed them, what killed them, and why. Were they just a random target, or was there some reason? No matter what reason, there was no justifying the horrible murders that took place inside the Moore home on that horrifying night back in June 10th, 1912. The Moore's home is considered to be one of the most haunted houses in the United States of America. But just like most paranormal experiences that happened in certain places and murders and hauntings, there are always certain people drawn to them places. People pay $400 to stay for one night inside the Moore home. There have been paranormal tours, but they have been cut short by children's voices, falling lamps, moving ladders, and flying objects, says the Villisca Axe Murder House website. One of the worst events that had happened in the house since the murders was when a paranormal investigator stabbed himself after spending the night. As the Villisca Axe Murder House website states, skeptics have left believers. Hello. This story is about a 7-year-old boy that was playing a game of chess with not another human, but a robot. It's a true story that took place in a Russian chess open in 2021. The game gathered a lot of interest with the boy playing a robot. The game had a lot of spectators watching and enjoying the game, until something very frightening happened. The boy rushed the robot in a certain move, and the robot did not like to be rushed, as it needed time to choose a move. It apparently had mistaken the boy's finger for a chess piece and broke his fingers. By the time the crowd could grab the robot off the boy's hand, his fingers had already been fractured. The boy continued to play the game with his hand in a sling. The management said that the robot was given to them by a loan, and they had no control over it. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content. I had a long day, and even longer night, and was so tired getting home. I knew that my husband would be fast asleep when I got home. I crept upstairs quietly and got dressed for bed, then crept in, not to wake my husband. I was just about to go to sleep when I heard something. I thought it was my husband, up and about, but then I knew it wasn't, as I could hear his snoring. Thankfully, my husband didn't snore loud, but I could hear his faint snoring, which told me he was definitely asleep. I had no pets, so it couldn't have been a cat or a dog. I froze in my bed when I heard another noise. This time, it was in my room. I didn't move and opened my eyes just a fraction. I could see a dark figure across my room wearing a ski mask. The figure was over by my jewellery. My heart thumped in my chest and I felt like screaming, but didn't want to advertise I was here. I knew, of course, whoever it was had seen me, but I closed my eyes and pretended to be asleep, hoping they would leave and I could wake my husband and lock the door and call the police. I didn't want them to know I was awake for fear of some altercation where anything could happen. Whoever was in the room, it could be a crazy man or woman, they could be a serial killer or just some crazy addict. All these crazy thoughts ran through my mind as my heart beat faster and faster as I felt sweat fall from my brow onto my cheek. I continued to be asleep. I could hear footsteps on my carpet, but couldn't figure out which part of my room they were coming from. Suddenly, they stopped. I listened intently for more movement, but heard none. I hoped and prayed whoever was in my room were making their way downstairs now and would leave my house immediately. But I froze in fear when I heard a sinister voice in my ear say, "I know you're awake." Joe was out trick-or-treating with his friends and 2 brothers and sisters. They went out trick-or-treating in the daytime and kept going until it was dark. Joe wanted to have a Halloween party, but his dad wouldn't allow him, so himself and his 2 sisters and brothers had their own party in the kitchen table when they went home. They were showing their dad all of the candy they received. Joe's dad, Jack, gave each of his children a candy-coated apple and wished them a happy Halloween. Joe ate his apple and the rest didn't get a chance because they were so full. It was getting late and suddenly Joe felt sick. The ambulance was called and unfortunately Joe died hours later. Joe's autopsy had showed results of cyanide poison and later were found in the apples that the rest of the family didn't eat. It was later revealed that Joe's dad, Jack, had purposely given his 5 children poison after taking out a life insurance policy on each one. That was a sick plan for having money problems. Thankfully, the rest of his children didn't eat the poison. Jack was sentenced to death by lethal injection. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content.